Good morning and welcome to Silverside Online. Thank you to James Hanby for filling in for me last week, and to Melissa High and friends for the beautiful meditative music session the previous Sunday so that I could have a brain break. Back today with some new energy, despite the fact that weights of the world are still present on my shoulders and on my mind. I look forward to seeing you face to face or mask to mask on the second Sunday in July at 10 a.m. outdoors at Silverside. You'll see where you're supposed to go when you drive into the parking lot. The chairs will be placed the appropriate distance apart. Everyone is supposed to wear a mask for his or her own well-being, as well as for the well-being of others in attendance. And we won't be able to give each other hugs and handshakes the way we wish we could, especially after this long separation. The way that this coronavirus spreads persistently, and the way that those people who think that they can ignore it in fact become participants in spreading it is it's a warning. And two of the most stubborn states who thought that they could outsmart the coronavirus because of their political affiliation have now had to backtrack and are having nearly impossible time finding hospital beds for those who think that they can ignore the need to wear masks and distance themselves appropriately and stay at home as much as they can. I saw an article yesterday, the day before, about one big family that loves to get together. I don't know what, there are 30 of them or something, got together for a big key birthday for one member of the family, which they do all the time, every single year, and for the other members of the family as well. And 18 out of 30 or 35 are now ill with the coronavirus, including the patriarch of the family, who's in his 80s. We're not going to be a part of that at Silverside. So I'll see you on the outside area of the church. The building will be open for restroom use only. We will not have a long service. We will set up as close to the building as possible for those who do need to slip in for restroom use, so they don't have to walk a long distance, and so it will be a smooth passage. That is, no rocky or uneven ground to walk on, a sidewalk, easily accessible, and so on. Anyway, back to today's concern and thought. Glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, and thank you for sticking together even though we don't see each other right now. And thank you for your financial support of the church. The treasurer told me the other day that it's been a better than usual summer. I think that's what he said. I thought I'd dropped my phone too many times, but I thought that's what he said. I wanted to run a contest with my sister in Tennessee, who keeps calling and telling me, did I tell you that our church has given more during the coronavirus time that people have been away than in a regular summer? And of course, she knows that she's told me multiple times. But don't try to get into a contest with religious conservatives. But boy, am I tempted. Anyway, thank you for your financial support of the church so that we can continue to support our ministries and our staff. I think you are A+ terrific folks. And if you're a newbie and you don't know why I think Silverside people are A+ terrific folks, hey, get to know us. Email us. That's the best way to start these days. And we'll make sure you get in touch with some wonderful people. Also, I guess I'm really not ready to move ahead as quickly as I thought. Our 185th anniversary as a congregation is coming around in early September. More about that later. We'll probably have to celebrate online, but we're going to have a humdinger of a celebration anyway. All right, now we move ahead. In Jewish Christian scriptures, fire is a symbol for judgment, for punishment, for getting rid of what is no longer needed. It's also a symbol of what prepares a substance, say clay, say metal, for being put in a pliable state so that it can be shaped into something usable, beautiful. Fire is a big part of what we're talking about today. Now, I'm sure that every member of the Silverside Choir has this information already at hand, but some of you who are not members of the choir may not have heard this yet. This week, the Dixie Chicks officially changed their name. It's true. This is an amazing group of young women who are Southern fried like I am, but who do not embrace, let's say, a conservative political perspective. Anyway, the Dixie Chicks have changed their names, and I want you to get on the phone right now and call any member of the choir and ask her or him what the new name is. Just kidding. The new name's right on the screen there for you. The Chicks. And there they are dressed up for their performances in the coronavirus age or era, complete with masks on the right-hand side of your screen. Dixie has been dropped, and they're now called the Chicks. That's not that has nothing to do with just being female. All right? Dixie is gone. 3 very progressive female singers are now the Chicks. Just about everybody has heard of Sodom and Gomorrah. Even if they don't know why, they've heard about it, and even if they have no idea that it's a story that it's 2 cities that has a horrible story about the 2 cities originating in Hebrew Scripture. People have heard about Sodom and Gomorrah. It was stated in the ancient times, the time of Abraham, that Sodom and Gomorrah were the 2 most evil cities anywhere in the world. And yet, for a time, until the depth of the evil was sort of at a head, Lot and his 2 engaged daughters and their mother, his wife, lived there. And by and by, God becomes so disgusted with the evil that God decides to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah by raining down fire and brimstone on them. A little theological aside, which is not really an aside, because if we're going to deal with biblical stories, we have to deal with theology. This is a parable. This is not a true story. This is not a historic story, I should say. Anytime there's a story that says God killed anybody, that is not a historical account. God does not kill people. God did not kill people in the flood. God did not kill people in Sodom and Gomorrah. Judgment typically is caused by people who bring horrors upon themselves directly or horrors upon other people. It is true that people can die um, through no fault of their own. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're one of these black or Latino people caught by racist police, they kill you, that's not God's will, and you didn't make it happen to yourself. That's the fault of the racist police and the societies that support them, and the police forces that support them, and the higher ups in the state justice departments, all the way up to the Department of Injustice in Washington, D.C. But the story goes that it was so evil, God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and did destroy Sodom and Gomorrah by raining down upon them fire and brimstone. And because Lot was a good guy, he gets advance notice. And by the way, there's much more to this story that I can't get into today. Um, uh, they get notice that they're supposed to get the Hades out of there, and they do. I don't know where the sons-in-law to be are. Eek, maybe he didn't care for them, but anyway, Lot and his two betrothed daughters and Mrs. Lot are on the way out of Sodom and Gomorrah. And when they head out, the word from God is that stuff you're leaving behind is so evil, I don't even want you to look back. Don't even look back. Don't even cast your eyes back on the evil that you're leaving behind. Why Lot and his daughters heard that admonition loudly and clearly and were on their way out for good and thrilled to death to be getting that behind them and have no part in that fire and brimstone nonsense. Mrs. Lot, mm, 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 mm. She looked back. And the strangest thing happened. Now, we don't know exactly why she looked back, or we don't know all the reasons she looked back. Lots of speculations are made that she didn't uh, like leaving behind all the fun. Maybe she enjoyed the evil there. Maybe she didn't participate in it. Maybe it was just exciting for her to observe. I don't know. But she looked back. You see her in the picture here in the lower right hand part. The fire and brimstone rained down upon Sodom and Gomorrah became a prototype for how many people thought that a literal burning hell would be like or look like or feel like. There is no such thing as a literal burning hell. In this picture, Lot and the two daughters got to the top of a hill. Mrs. Lot is still at the base. Mrs. Lot, according to this important story, turned into a pillar of salt. The weirdest thing you've ever heard of. Why did the writer come up with that as the way of sort of um, punishing someone who didn't stay for all the evil to live in the midst of it, but who, when given the opportunity to escape it and the results of it, the fire and the brimstone, and get away with her family, still looked back. Mrs. Lot had turned into a pillar of salt. I'll bet you that Trina Garner could do one amazing collage titled Pillar of Salt. I can see it now, waiting for me when I finally get back into the swing of things at 2800 Silverside Road. Pillar of Salt by Trina Gardner. This artist's representation is haunting, isn't it? Once again, she didn't stay. Mrs. Lott didn't stay. She didn't stay and participate in the evil. She left. She did what she was asked to do. It's just that she looked back. She just looked back. But that was the end of her. Except for an empty outline of her. She became Pillar of Salt. This artist seems to think that there's something or someone she's not wanting to leave, that she's reaching out to something she regrets having to leave behind. There would be a good novel. I don't even know what to say about this one, but it kind of scares me. This one I like a lot because it shows something of the process, an artist's idea of the process by which she became a pillar of salt, not instantaneously. It was as if salt blew around her like a sandstorm and encapsulated her. But her life was gone once it occurred. Those of us who are curious feel some sympathy for Mrs. Lott. If, in fact, she just looked back, one last glimpse. Maybe she had some friends there who weren't such bad folks. She had spent some time there. What was the harm in looking back? Well, as the story is told, God directed them in a new direction, completely away from the evil. And looking back was a sign of lack of commitment to the new way of life, the new opportunities that were before them. And in order to move ahead in the proper way, the past had to be completely wiped away from their consciousness, to the extent that that would be possible. But they couldn't look back.
I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times am not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland, in Dixieland, where I was born in. Early on look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Oh, Mrs. Mary, well, everywhere William was a gay deceiver. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. But when he put his arms around her, he smiled as fierce as a 40-pounder. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then I wish I was in Dixie, Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away down south in Dixie. His face was sharp as a butcher's cleaver, but that did not seem to grieve her. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Oh, Mrs. Acted devilish pardon, died for man, and that broke her heart. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Now here's a health to the next old missus and all the gals that want to kiss us. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. But if you want to drive away sorrow, come and hear this song tomorrow. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then I wish I